Hebrews chapter 9 verses 1 to 9 tells us that in the temple a veil separated the Holy of Holies, the earthly place of God's presence, from the rest of the temple where men dwelled. Hebrews chapter 9 verses 1 to 3, indeed the first covenant had regulations for divine worship and for the earthly sanctuary. A sacred tent was set up, the outer or first section, in which were the lampstand and the table with its consecrated bread. This is called the holy place. Behind the second veil was another tabernacle, the inner or second section known as the Holy of Holies. The book of Exodus teaches that this thick veil was made of blue, purple, scarlet material and twisted linen. Now Christ is our superior high priest, and as believers in his finished work, we partake in his superior priesthood. We can now enter the Holy of Holies through him. Hebrews chapter 10 verses 19 to 20 says, "We have confidence to enter the most holy place by the blood of Jesus, by a new and living way opened for us through the veil, that is, his body." As we look upon this scene, we see an image of Jesus' flesh being torn for us, just as he was tearing the veil for us. The book of Hebrews provides a gloriously detailed explanation of the profound meaning associated with the tearing of the veil. The veil that always hung in the temple served as a constant reminder that sin makes humans unworthy of being in God's presence. The fact that the sin offering was presented once a year, beyond the myriad of other sacrifices that were presented daily, was a blatant illustration of the reality that sin really could not be atoned for or eradicated by mere animal sacrifices. Because of what Jesus Christ did on the cross, the barriers that used to separate God and people were destroyed, and now we can approach God with confidence and boldness. Hebrews chapter 4 verses 14 to 16. Therefore, since we have a great high priest who has passed through the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold firmly to our confession of faith. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. Therefore let us approach the throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. Jesus' body was torn, and so was the veil, each signifying that now we can boldly approach God. We have a high priest presiding over the heavenly courts to ensure that the believer has full access. At the moment Christ died, the heavy woven curtain separating the two main rooms of the temple was torn by an invisible hand from top to bottom,